Hello, Lantern Road Leopard artists in the 4th grade. This is Mrs. Billman parked in front of her Indiana state map. Since 4th grade studies Indiana history and symbols, we will be using one of our state symbols as the inspiration for our Art to Remember piece. Most of you leopards in 4th grade have been to Lantern Road before, and you remember that Art to Remember is the fundraiser for the art room. Participation in the fundraising portion is voluntary, but we all make a piece of art for this effort. To create our cardinals, which is Indiana's state bird, we are going to use something we already have with us, and that is our handprint. Now, because the symbols behind me are pretty low to the ground on the bottom of my map, I'm going to have to get up off the floor, walk over to my document camera hack, and get this camera set up so that you are able to see me create this work. When I get my camera turned around, please try to remember it takes a bit of patience and grace from you, because I do have to turn my camera and set it up on my document camera stand. Once I've done that, you should be able to see a white piece of paper. It also gets a touch noisy too, so I apologize for that. Once I have my camera cantilevered appropriately, you should see a white paper upon which I am going to trace my hand. I'm going to use pencil so that I can get the end of the tracing appropriate. I know my camera screen is small as I shoot these videos with my phone, and my hand is quite large, so I hope enough of what I am doing shows so that you can see what it is you'll need to do. When I remove my hand, of course, where my wrist is, we can't trace through our own arm. So I'm going to finish that with a rounded or arced or loose curve so that I have a full handprint. And again, I realize my hand is large and it may not fit into the camera screen. The next thing that we do is very important because it sets up our cardinal. You want to make sure you turn your paper so that the thumbprint is at the top. That becomes the cardinal's funny hairdo. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, there are examples of cardinals posted beneath the video frame in this video. The next thing you're going to want to do after you've ensured that your cardinal is thumb up, you want to add a beak. You want to add an eye. And if you know our state bird, they wear a black mask. So you'll want to draw that in too. And of course, currently our cardinal is footless and legless, so you will probably want to add some feet and legs as well. You do want to color all of these things with crayon. And while the cardinal in the example on our Indiana map was red, you are welcome to make your cardinal female, which means your cardinal will be brown. The males are red and the females are brown. Once you draw and color with crayon, you're going to want to add a tree branch below the feet, and then you're going to want to add some spirals and snowflakes with white crayon to your sky. Once you've gotten everything colored, the cardinal, the beak, the eye, the black mask, feet and legs, tree branch underneath, it is a fun surprise to add many spirals and snowflakes with crayon to the sky. This will give the appearance of some snow blowing in. In order for you to see well how to draw the most simple of snowflakes, I'm going to make a few that are also blue so they show up on camera. I start with an X and then I layer a plus sign on top. And I make some small, some big, some look like they're far away. When I do that, some look close up. The last part of this effort is to paint our entire sky a frosty blue. We want the paint to be very, very watery, and therefore you can use water first if you would like to make sure your paper is quite watery. It is very important if you are a student that is a virtual student for the entire first semester that you use crayon. I won't be there at your house to tell you to use crayon. Anything else can be ruined by the paint I'm about to use, but crayon never will be. Crayon has wax in it, therefore it resists water. So I am now ready to completely paint my background. Hopefully the small camera screen still allows you to see some of my nice surprises that I've created with white waxy crayon. I'm going to paint the entire image except for the white of his eye. I don't really want my cardinal to have a blue eye where it should be white. He could have a blue eye where it should be blue if he's a blue-eyed cardinal, but I don't want the whites of his eyes to be anything but white. You probably notice that the watercolor runs away from the paint. We call that a resist, and students that have been with me for a long time probably remember that term because we have used water resist in the past on other projects. If you are a virtual student all the way through to the end of first semester, I will find a way to get your Art to Remember paper to you. These projects simply have to be done on that company's paper so that you aren't using just computer printer paper or something like that laying around the house. But Mrs. Thompson will help me make sure that we get the paper to you in plenty of time to do the project. This should take about 2 classes or 2 art room visits if you are coming to my room. This is the end of 4th grade's Art to Remember Winter Cardinals instructional video. Make sure that you check beneath the video frame for some examples that you can use for ideas and inspiration in this work. And don't forget to submit a photo the exact way that you learned when we studied the art elements.